Welcome back to my views and news. Some new stories from Ethiopia and Eritrea. Another assassination in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. Third assassination of a police chief. What is happening? Complete lawlessness is engulfing the Amhara region. Fano is definitely now emerging as a key player in the Amhara region. Secondly, another news story about clashes between Fano fighters and Ethiopian security forces. The news story is from Gondar, where some militia members and police officials have been killed in yesterday's fighting with the Fano fighters. Road is closed. Fighting erupted last night. Still sounds of gunshots can be heard in the area. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea. We know that in the 2-year-long war, European Union remained very critical of Eritrean role in the war, and it demanded accountability for war crimes. It demanded complete withdrawal of Eritrean forces from Tigray. But now a top Eritrean delegation is visiting a European country. Yesterday, Eritrean information minister shared details of this top-level delegation led by the foreign minister Usman Saleh and Yemane Gebreyev, advisor to the president of Eritrea, Asas Afwerki. Lastly was Baghdad, Iraq, where Swedish embassy was set on fire last night. What happened there? Angry protesters are threatening that they'll again attack the embassy. In Sweden today, in front of Iraqi consulate, Muslim holy book Quran is going to be burned. That is why we saw what happened in Iraq. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, first news story is from the Amhara region. Now, list of assassinations is getting longer. Almost on daily basis, we receive reports about assassinations. Assassination is now part of the plan which Fano has adopted to achieve its objectives. People say, Sajid, you don't know about Fano's objectives. And Fano does not know about its objectives too. I'll do a video on that too. What does Fano want? And yesterday we talked about Fano's intention to move towards Addis Ababa. After that, I received several calls, messages. So I'll do another video today or tomorrow. I received commendable input from some people who are close to the faction. Now, we saw first major assassination in the Amhara region around 2 months ago when Girma Shitila was assassinated. Government blamed Fano fighters. Mere Bodajo from East Amhara Fano and Vlate Shigao from Shoa Fano, they were accused. Assassination happened in North Shore. Girma was from North Shore. Fano never claimed responsibility, but Girma Shtila's family members still say that Girma was assassinated by Fano fighters. Why? Because he was very vocal supporter of government's policies. He was backing the operation against Fano. Then in Gojam, Dajan police chief, deputy chief assassinated. Showarobit, head of security, Abdo Hussain assassinated, head of security. Debre Birhan, police commander assassinated. And now Gondar, South Gondar, Varata city police chief assassinated last night. Malka Tennao is his name. Unknown men opened fire at Malka Tennao, he died. Question is, why is that some Wareda, some city police commanders are being assassinated and some are not? Wherever there is operation against Fano fighters communicate indirectly or directly with militia chiefs, police chiefs. They tell them to stay away from the operation. If these police officers, militia in charges don't obey Fano's orders, they are assassinated. And those police chiefs which are actively supporting the operation against Fano and leading the operation, they are being targeted by Fano fighters. Mostly before these assassinations, Fano fighters threaten. They issue threats to police, local government, militias. No, local government officials, local police officers, they are in a very difficult position. They have a job. They have to work. Their job is to obey seniors' orders, government's orders. Government has decided to start an operation against Fano. These police chiefs, militia members, they have to comply with government's instructions. If they don't, they'll be fired. How will they survive? If they're fired, how will they survive? How will they make both ends meet? How will they feed their families? So they have their own problems. They have to be part of the operations. It is their job. But this participation in operation is costing them their lives. If a police chief of a city has security, he has gunmen mostly. If a police chief can be assassinated, how can the people under him work freely? They won't be able to work freely and fearlessly because they know that their top man has been assassinated and any day they can be hit too. It means when a police chief is assassinated, entire security structure in that city feels the pressure. People will be forced to obey Fano's orders in the Amhara region because Fano is hitting top men on city level so far. Purpose is to make city governments dysfunctional. Purpose is to make local city level security structure irrelevant, insignificant, so that it does not pose any threat to Fano's operations. Let's see how Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara regional government, Amhara police handle this challenge. Fano is turning into a formidable challenge now because I share details of assassinations. It will continue if operation continue. Assassination will continue if operation against Fano continues in the Amhara region, it seems. And I feel sorry for the police officers, militia members. They cannot distance themselves from these operations. they're innocent, they have to be part of these operations, and they are losing their lives. They're being killed by Fano fighters. Secondly, viewers, yesterday Fano fighters took control of a town near Gondar city, around 15 to 20 kilometers away from Gondar city. This town came under the control of Fano fighters. Maksanat is the name of the town. A Fano fighter was arrested by Maksanat police officials. The Fano fighters issued an ultimatum demanding the release of their comrade. The Fano fighter was not released, and then Fano commander of the area, leading hundreds of Fano fighters, stormed Maksanat city. Fano fighters seized all major buildings. Later, talks were held and the two parties agreed on some points. But then came reinforcements, police reinforcements, ENDF reinforcements, and on Wednesday evening, fighting resumed between Fano fighters and police officials, mainly police and militia members. And in this new episode of fighting, which started last night, several casualties happened. Several casualties are being reported. Fighting mostly happened near police station in Maksanat. Around 5 casualties are being confirmed on police militia side. Some Fano fighters injured too, maybe 1 casualty too. Situation still not under control. Fano fighters are inside Maksanat. Main road which passes through Maksanat, which links Baghdad with Gondar, is closed because Maksanat is situated on a main road. It is between Baghdad and Gondar. Situation not under control. Thirdly, viewers, Eritrea-Italy relations. A top Eritrean delegation is visiting Eritrea. Usman Saleh, a foreign minister, is part of this delegation. Yemane Gabriel, advisor to Isaias Afwerki, Eritrean president, is also part of the delegation. It's a high-level delegation, and it has held some meetings with high-level Italian officials too. Delegation met with Italian foreign minister. Talks were held. Very important development, because we know that EU-Eritrea relations remained very strained in the 2-year-long war, during the 2-year-long war in Ethiopia, because Eritrea was part of the war. EU was demanding withdrawal of Eritrean forces from Tigray. It was demanding accountability for war crimes committed in Tigray, allegedly by Eritrean forces. So we used to see exchange of strong statements by Eritrea and EU. Now, when peace deal has been signed, though there are still issues, peace deal being implemented, Italy wants to renew its ties with Eritrea. Talks which have been held focused on Eritrean role for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. That is what Italian Foreign Ministry said, that focus was on Eritrean role for peace and stability in the Horn of Africa. So Italy is recognizing that Eritrea is a key player in the Horn of Africa. For peace and stability in the Horn of Africa, Eritrea should be engaged. Acknowledgement from Italy. Secondly, according to the Foreign Ministry, Italy showed interest in investing, in renewing bilateral trade ties, cultural ties with Eritrea. And Italy showed interest in building motorways and railway, projects in Eritrea. Eritrea remained Italian colony for decades. So the two have historical ties too. And I think Italy was one of the first countries which recognized Eritrea after Eritrea became an independent country. But the relations went through up and down. There were Italian schools in Asmara, Eritrean capital. I think they were closed to a few years ago. The relations have gone through up and down. But now the two sides want to renew their ties. Isolation of Eritrea is not a solution. This policy adopted by EU and US that Eritrea should be isolated, it's not a solution. People of Eritrea suffer because of this policy adopted by some Western countries and US. Eritrea has very poor human rights record. China does not have very commendable human rights record. What is happening to Uyghur Muslims in China? Still, world has economic links, economic ties with China. US is a big trading partner with China. So, strategy to isolate Eritrea is not a solution. Eritrea cannot be isolated in the Horn of Africa. It has its roots in the Horn of Africa. Better policy is perhaps engagement. At the same time, pressure should be kept. Lastly, viewers, Baghdad, Iraq, where Swedish embassy was set on fire last night. Angry protesters stormed the embassy. They scaled the walls of the embassy. They set parts of embassy on fire. The protesters are from Muqtada al-Sadr, who is a very prominent Iraqi politician from Shia school of thought, Muslim cleric, politician too. Why is that Swedish embassy was torched in Baghdad? Last month we saw that under the supervision of Swedish police, Muslim holy book Quran was set on fire in Stockholm. I think a Swedish court permitted the man who committed this act to burn the holy book. And today, on Thursday, another burning is going to happen in front of Iraqi consulate in Stockholm, Sweden. Holy Quran is going to be burnt by another man who has obtained permission from court. Police will escort him. Police will provide security to him, and he'll burn the holy book of Muslims. That is why, in reaction, we saw a major protest in Baghdad, Iraqi capital, where Swedish embassy was set on fire. Now, such acts which create hatred in the guise of freedom of expression, freedom of speech should be condemned. Just one act of burning of Quran created shock waves across the world. Harmony in European societies, Muslim societies, harmony between Muslims and Christians was disturbed because of Muslims and non-Muslims was disturbed because of one act of burning of Holy Quran in Stockholm, Sweden. And if again today Quran is burned in front of Iraqi consulate in Stockholm, Sweden, we'll see more reaction from the Muslim world. Thank you for watching.